Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, but could totally change what's on our dinner plates forever. We're talking about real meat, grown in a way you've probably never imagined. I mean, really think about that for a second. A delicious, juicy burger that didn't come from a farm. It sounds kind of wild, doesn't it? But this isn't a movie prop. It's a real technology that's happening right now, and it might just reshape the future of food as we know it. So, how in the world does this even work? To really get it, we need to understand a couple of big ideas that make this whole thing possible. Let's break down what meat without the animal actually means.
Okay, so the first big idea has a fancy name, cellular agriculture. But don't let the name scare you. The idea is actually pretty simple. Think about it like this. To grow a new tree, you don't need a whole other tree, right? You just need a seed. Well, in the same way, to make animal products like meat, scientists can use tiny animal cells instead of the whole animal.
And that brings us to the food itself, cultured meat. Now, let's be super clear about something. This is not a veggie burger made from plants. This is real, actual meat with the same taste, the same texture, the whole deal. The only difference? Where it comes from. Instead of a farm, it comes from a clean, safe lab.
All right, so you're probably wondering, how do they do that? It's a really cool process, almost like a high-tech recipe with 4 main steps. So let's walk through it together.
It all starts with step 1, a biopsy. That just means a tiny sample of cells, way smaller than a pea, is taken from an animal. And don't worry, it doesn't hurt them. Then for step 2, scientists find special little cells in that sample called stem cells. You can think of these as master cells that can turn into muscle or fat, the stuff meat is made of. For step 3, they put these cells in a liquid full of nutrients, kind of like a super smoothie, that has everything they need to grow. And finally, step 4. The cells are put into large, warm tanks where they multiply over and over again until, believe it or not, they grow into a real piece of meat. An expert in this area, Ahmed Khan, explains it so well. He says they basically train the cells to do the exact same job they do inside an animal's body. They're just doing it in a new, super-controlled environment.
So, we know how it's made, but is this new food a perfect solution, or does it come with its own set of problems? Like with any new technology, there are good things and bad things. Let's take a look at both sides of the story.
Let's start with the huge potential upside, 1%. What does that mean? Well, scientists figure that making meat this way could use just 1% of the land that traditional farming needs. To put that in perspective, that's like replacing a gigantic farm with a building the size of a small school. So here's a quick breakdown. On the pros side, the good things are pretty clear. No animals are harmed, it could be way better for the environment with less pollution, and as we just saw, it saves a ton of land. But on the con side, there are some real challenges. Right now, it's super expensive, and it takes a long time to grow. And since it's all so new, making sure every single piece of meat is perfect is still a big challenge.
And you know, a change this big isn't just about food, it's about people. For animals, it's obviously a huge win. For people who care about the planet, it's a really exciting idea. But for farmers whose whole life is raising animals, this could be a real threat to their jobs. And for the rest of us, well, people's feelings are all over the place. Some are really curious, and others are, a little nervous about it.
This all sounds pretty futuristic, right? But the big question is, when could we actually see this stuff? Is this food of the future decades away, or could you find it on a shelf sooner than you think?
Well, here's the crazy part. It's already here. Cultured meat is already approved and being sold in restaurants in Singapore right now, today. The next big step could be Canada, where some people expect it in stores by 2025. And after that, who knows? It could become a totally normal thing to see in your local grocery store.
But for any of that to happen, the most important piece of the puzzle is us. What do we all think? And right now, public opinion is completely split. A lot of people are really excited for a choice that's better for animals and the environment. But at the same time, a lot of people are unsure or even a little worried about eating meat that came from a lab.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. Now that you know how it's made, the good, the bad, and how it could change the world, the big question might be up to you one day. If you saw it on a menu or in a store, would you try it?